I'll get out of here, but it's going to be a lot more work.
Well, yeah, you'll have to cut out the wire.
Huh.
I don't think you'll fit through that little hole.
Oh, I bet I could.
Bet.
Oh, yeah, I can.
Okay, let's see.
I don't even have the things to cut it.
Oh.
Look at that. Unless I cut it out there. I'm going to have to cut it out there. Or my clothes are going to get shredded.
Well, you're in a pickle.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Why?
Oh, I thought he needed to sleep in there tonight. No. He's all the time telling you you're going to sleep with the chickens. This time he gets a taste of his own medicine, right?
That's right, Annie. You gotta turn the there she is. Good job. You saved the day.
Well, hello and welcome back to our channel. Super glad you're here. I am excited today because if you were here for last week's video, you saw our garden install, but we left off without finishing it completely because I maxed out the garden space that we had. But I have some grow bags, so we're getting some garden soil. We're gonna sow our tomato seeds. It depends on how much work I can get out of my farmhand, if we're being completely serious, because he's only off work today and tomorrow. And me and the girls go to a half-day preschool in the morning. So we're kind of just limited on daylight hours, but I'm hoping to finish sowing tomato seeds, till up or hoe up the edge of our garden so that I can do maybe one more row of corn as well as our green beans, install the trellises for green beans to climb, and then currently he is working on expanding our chicken coop. So we got some new baby chicks in last week's video, you saw that, and we are working on making a bit more room for them to roam so that they don't have to be out all the time to free range. We only live on a 1-acre homestead, so it's not fenced in. There's not a ton of room for them to do so. We like for them to free range, but it's just not the safest thing. We've lost several chickens due to them wandering off of our property or other animals coming onto our property, just different things. We live close to town, so it's not even like a predator situation really, it's like dogs. So kind of frustrating, but we're taking matters into our own hands as we should, and we are making our own coop bigger, and hopefully this will allow us to, in time, get even more chickens. We have a lot to get to. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
Alright, so we're creating extra room for the chickens to run. So this is going to be their little doorway when I cut this out for them to come in and out of the existing coop. And then we're using the hog panels and the T-posts to make a bigger area for them to roam. And once I get that closed in, I'll surround it with chicken wire like this. And that will be their extra room so that we can take on more chickens.
How many chickens would we like to have?
I don't know. Right now we have 5, and then a friend of mine wants me to hold on to his chickens. He's got 4 while he's moving, so we could have up to 9 in here at one time. And then I think we're going to keep the rooster out of here, so maybe max 9, which seems like a lot, but I think it'd be fun.
Because we only have 3 nesting boxes.
Oh, Daddy,
Yeah.
you added it.
Yeah.
So speaking of, they're making an appearance, aren't they, Annie?
Yeah.
She
So
said,
you think 3 nesting boxes will be enough for, at times, 9 chickens?
probably so, really, but we can always
Because
build
they
more.
all tend to share the same one anyways, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd be all right.
Well, cool.
Okay. Whoa! What a level does. Okay, see ya. Okay.
Okay, let's see.
I'm already filthy. Will you take those out and set them out there?
Wow. Oh, can the hips make it? Yeah, they made it. I'm impressed, honey.
That's pretty small.
That is. What would you say the dimensions are on that?
It's like 12 and a half by probably 14.
12 and a half by 14.
Yes. One and a 2.
One. Good job. In there. Jump around in.
There we go. That's all we need.
Like I said, we have not had, up to this point at least, an issue with predators such as hawks or things from above. So we did not put any kind of roof or top covering on this expansion. And in reality, I don't think that we will ever need much more room than this unless it's simply for them to be able to range more, because we do want to in time add meat birds, but we would most likely use a chicken tractor for that. And as far as laying hens, this will probably be way more than what we as a family need anyways, but we definitely love to have an abundance of eggs when possible. Whatever you're about to do. I don't really know what's about to happen, but I feel like I should preface it by saying this is who I list as my emergency contact.
Instead, it shows my ingenuity.
Well, that was boring. I guess my comment made him feel the need to be a little bit more responsible. I totally thought that was going to be cooler than what it was, and he was going to like jump over the fence from the ladder, but it's fine. What is happening, guys?
Now get on those pokies.
Okay, so I just went inside to get some water, and it was all too tempting to not come back outside because that air conditioning felt so good. I also feel so dirty. I think I have like bugs crawling all over me and dirt in my hair, but I also knew coming back out that for this portion I'm going to need shoes on, so that was kind of a bummer. I've enjoyed being barefoot, and it really shows me how many rocks I need to clear out of the garden as well. So more to work on later, but for now I'm going to go ahead and dig up the fence line so that I can sow some green bean seeds. Nicholas will have to help me put the trellises in a little bit later. Maybe we can do that in a couple days when he's off work again, and then I need to top off these grow bags with a little bit more garden soil before putting the tomato seeds in them. But after that, we're calling it a day, and weeding will follow in the days ahead. Before I started my own garden a few years back, I think I just really was overcomplicating every little thing. I thought that seeds needed to be started indoors in seed trays with grow lights and to be closely monitored and then hardened off and transplanted and all of these things. And I also have had like a cheap little greenhouse in the past that blew away within no time. And there's just been so many things that I've tried to make difficult. But what I have realized, especially last year when we expanded the garden to what it is now, we didn't have the raised beds at the time, but we just did everything directly by seed. We tilled just to get a clean slate, and then we just put it in the ground and said, let's see what happens. Let's learn how to do this and see how it goes. And I can honestly say that it is way, way simpler than what I was making it, which makes a whole lot of sense because when I drive down the roads in our area, at least, everybody tills every year, which I don't necessarily want to do that, but everybody tills every year and everybody does direct sow. I am not seeing a ton of people in my area in gardening zone 7A, the North Georgia, Northwest Mountains, who do a ton of indoor seed trays and then hardening off and transplanting and those kinds of things. And I think that there's a lot more to be said for that. I think that there is a lot more science and work that goes into it. I'm appreciative for my raised beds, especially for the root vegetables which I have planted in them. But for things that do not need to burrow deep down into the soil, it is really not that hard to do direct sow. And I just never realized that. I wish that someone had told me. I grew up with my grandfather having a large garden, and we would help pick green beans and stuff, but it was never something where I was fully involved in the actual process of like the install or any part of it really, other than stringing beans. I was so young at the time. I just have been very pleasantly surprised and actually really enjoyed having my hands in the actual soil of the earth, which sounds very like some type of way, but I've just really enjoyed it, and I think that it's not said enough like how simple it really is to garden in the ground. Of course, that's not to say that we don't use garden soil and amendments and such to the actual dirt of the earth which we own on our property, but regardless, it's just really, really nice to dig my hands into the dirt and then to see how it all functions as part of like not something that's completely man-made. So we have finished, I will say that we have finished the garden install. It's been a good day out in the sunshine, but man, it is warming up. Here comes Roger. But I'm super glad, so excited, so thankful to my husband for his hard work and skills that we have an expanded chicken coop, and now we have our garden installed. Hopefully we will have so many tomatoes, so many flowers, potatoes, okra. We have several things starting to sprout up. I'll share more of that with you next week as I will share a weeded version of our garden. I'm starting to tell like what's what. It's not just like, you know, the little sprouts. It's starting to really look like the start of plants, so I can tell what's a weed and what is the plant itself, so it's a little bit safer for me to clean up those beds and really get them looking good. So I'm very excited to share that with you next week. I am excited to continue planting some flower seeds and bulbs around our house and landscaping, and yeah, we just have a lot more to come. I'm getting excited about simply maintaining what's been planted and watching it grow. fertilizing it, making sure that it has the nutrients that it needs, but then moving on to some really pretty things around our yard and like the girls' play area. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you will subscribe, turn on the notifications so that you are sure not to miss a video. I try to post consistently on the same day each week, but it is a little bit tricky with our current lifestyle. School should be out soon and it'll get a bit more consistent, but I am so glad that you came along. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back next week for more. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and we'll catch you next time. Bye guys.